Here, I'd like to do an example of compound interest. The first thing I'd like you to do is box in your formula. You make sure to put a star by that and that you know that for your exams and for your homework. This formula says that the amount of money A after a particular time t in years is given by the amount of principal that you put into the account and then times 1 plus R. R represents a rate. You need to make sure to convert your rate into decimal form, divided by N. N tells the amount of times it's compounded per year, and then all that is raised to the power of N times T. Now, when you plug the right-hand side into your calculator, what you will normally need to do is something like this, so that your exponent ends up being in the proper place. You would want to use your caret key, and then I'd always put the N times the T in parentheses. So make that note on your calculator. This would need to be the way that you would compute that right-hand side. Some common phrases: compounded quarterly means that the N value is going to be 4. Semi-annually means N is 2. And biannually means N is 2. Okay, let's scroll down to our example. It says here, suppose that $3,000 is invested at 3% compounded monthly. So this would mean that the P value is 3,000. My interest rate is 0.03, and then compounded monthly would indicate that N is 12. Okay, first question is find the amount of money in the account after 7 years. 7 years indicates that the T value would be 7. So the proper notation for this would be the amount of money in the account after 7 years equals $3,000 times 1 plus 0.03 divided by 12. And then on the calculator, you're going to have to do raised, and then make sure that you put your exponent in parentheses, and this is N times T, so 12 times 7. Okay, let's go ahead and do that on our calculator and see what result we get. So we have the 3,000, and then use a parenthesis, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 12. Close your parenthesis, and then do raised to the power. And I'm going to go ahead and use parentheses here to be safe. Parentheses, 12 times 7. Okay, and then press enter. And so we can see here that the amount would end up being $3,700, and then let's round to the nearest cent, so it'd be 0.06. Okay, second part of the question says find the amount of money in the account after 7 years if the interest is compounded semi-annually. So semi-annually would mean that the N value is now 2 instead of 12. Okay, we still have 7 years, so that would be our T value. So A of 7 is 3,000, and then 1 plus 0.03, now divided by 2, and then raised to the 2 times 7. Okay, what I can do on my calculator if I want to help or to keep from having to retype everything that I just typed, a neat feature is you can press second and then enter, and it will put back up on your screen the formula that you've used the most recently. Okay, so on this we can go back and we can edit. Where we have the 12, we just want a 2, so we could just delete off the 1s. Okay, so we have 2 times 7 in the exponent, and then down here we need just a 2, so we could delete off the 1, and then everything else in our formula would stay the same. Okay, so we can look back at the formula and make sure everything looks good, and then press enter. Okay, and then that value is 3,695, and if we round to the nearest cent, it would be 0.27.